Have you ever felt a place has a soul of its own? A place that hides secrets you're not meant to uncover? This is my story, a terrifying experience in an old apartment in Cairo that I can never forget. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell, because this story is only the first part. The second part is coming soon, filled with even scarier events and a shocking secret that will be revealed. My name is Karim. I'm 23 years old. I've always loved old Cairo. There's something mysterious about it, something you can't quite explain. Maybe it's the old houses or the streets full of stories. This happened to me about 2 years ago. No matter how hard I try, I can't forget it. Every night when I close my eyes, I see the same scene that made me leave that apartment forever. I had just moved closer to downtown for work. I was looking for a small, cheap apartment near the office. The landlord suggested an old building on a side street and said there was an empty apartment number 4 on the second floor. The building smelled like old dust. The stairs were dark stone and the lighting was dim. When I arrived, I saw the dark brown door with a faded number 4 on it. The apartment felt strangely quiet. It was almost empty except for a large window overlooking the street. The walls had black stains that looked burnt. I asked the doorman about them and he laughed. "Don't worry, Mr. Karim, those are just old marks from when the apartment was closed for years." I didn't care. I signed the contract and moved in the next day. The first night was relatively normal, though the air felt heavy. But the second night was the real beginning. Around 3 a.m., I woke up to the sound of footsteps coming from the living room. I was sure I was alone, but the steps were clear, slow, approaching my bedroom door. I turned on the light, but the sound disappeared completely. The next day, I tried to convince myself it was just my imagination. Maybe neighbors walking above. But the following night, something impossible happened. I was sitting on the bed watching videos on my phone when I suddenly heard heavy breathing right behind me. It was so close that I felt it brushing over my neck. I spun around. Nothing. But when I looked into the small mirror in front of me, I saw a shadowy figure behind me. It was misty, but it had red eyes. The whole room froze instantly. I ran out of the bedroom and turned on every light in the apartment. I stayed awake until morning, unable to close my eyes. The next day, I went to tell the doorman, and when I described what happened, his face froze. He looked at me with fear. "You live in apartment 4. No one stays there more than a week. The people before you heard the same sounds." I didn't believe him. I thought he was trying to scare me into leaving. But what happened the next night confirmed that something truly unnatural was happening. Around midnight, while I was sitting in the living room, the TV turned on by itself, blasting sound, flipping channels rapidly without me touching the remote. Then a woman appeared on the screen, her hair wet, her eyes dark and empty, staring directly at me. I turned off the TV in panic, my heart pounding. Seconds later, I heard the same footsteps in the hallway, but faster this time. I ran to the door to escape, but it wouldn't open, as if locked from the outside. I screamed and pounded with all my strength. Everything around me was dark except a faint light coming from the window. I approached it slowly, and when I looked outside, the street was empty. But in the window reflection, I saw the same woman standing right behind me. I felt something grab my shoulder tightly, and then everything went black. I woke up in the morning on the floor. The door was open as if nothing had happened. Everything was in its place, but on the wall with the black stains, one word was written clearly: "Go back." That day, I packed everything and left without looking back. Since then, I dream about her every week. The same apartment, the same woman, the same dark eyes. But the strangest part, a few days ago, I walked past the building and saw the apartment lit at night, the curtain open, and even stranger, I saw someone standing at the window looking at me wearing the same clothes I had on that last night. I know some of you might think I am crazy, but what I saw is something I can never erase from my mind. After what happened in that apartment, I tried to live a normal life, but ever since I saw the window lit up and the curtain open, I have felt like something is calling me. For a whole week, I had the same dream every night. The lights inside turn on and off by themselves, and the woman's voice keeps calling my name. Karim, come back. I would wake up drenched in sweat, but the last time was different. I dreamed I was standing in front of the apartment door again. The door opened slowly by itself. When I woke up, the old key of the apartment was in my pocket. I am sure I threw it away the day I left. But how did it come back? Curiosity was eating me alive, and fear could not stop me. The next day, I went back to the building, just to look from a distance. But when I arrived, the building looked different. All the windows were broken except one, my old window, number 4. It was glowing. I climbed the stairs slowly. Every step creaked beneath me. When I reached the door, I saw the same old sign with the number 4, but the writing looked fresh, like it was painted yesterday. My heart was pounding. The key trembled in my hand, but I still put it in the lock. The moment it turned, the door opened by itself and a smell came out. The smell of old dust mixed with faint smoke. I stepped inside. Everything was exactly the same as I left it. But something was different. The room with the black stains on the wall. The stains were bigger now and the whole wall looked burnt. I touched it. It was warm. Then I heard a sound behind me. Soft footsteps as if someone was walking barefoot in the hallway. I turned quickly. Nothing. But in the mirror above the dresser there was movement. A reflection of a woman. Her hair wet just like before, but this time she was closer, and she was smiling. I ran toward the door to escape, but it slammed shut hard as if someone had hit it from outside. Then I heard her humming, getting closer. I was waiting for you, Karim. Her voice was calm yet terrifying, coming from every direction at once. The air grew heavy. The lights started to go out one by one until the apartment was swallowed in darkness except for the faint glow from the window. I walked slowly toward it. I saw a reflection in the glass, but something was wrong. My reflection was not moving like me. I stared at it. It stayed still. I leaned closer until my face was right against the glass. Suddenly, my reflection smiled. It smiled on its own. I was not moving. The woman was behind it. She reached out and suddenly I felt an icy touch on the back of my neck, like a hand pressing through the glass. I stumbled back and fell to the floor. Voices whispered all around my ears, repeating the same words again and again. Take my place, take my place. The lights flickered back on. The mirror fell and shattered, revealing a small hole in the wall. I pointed my phone light inside. It was a narrow space leading to another tiny room. Dust covered everything, but inside that room there was an old wooden chair. On it were my clothes. The ones I wore the night I left the apartment. How did they get here? Among the clothes there was a printed photo of me standing by the window, exactly like the figure I saw watching me from the street. On the back of the photo there was a clear message written, "Now it is your turn." At that moment the whole apartment started shaking. The woman's voice grew louder. "Stay here. Do not be afraid. You will not leave." I ran as fast as I could. The door was locked, but suddenly it swung open by itself as if something allowed me to go. I rushed down the stairs in disbelief. The doorman looked at me in shock and said, "You came back again. Mr. Karim, the one inside the apartment is not you. I froze, my heart pounding. I looked up toward the window. Someone was standing there, dressed exactly like me, same face, same everything. He was looking down at me with the same smile I saw in the glass. I could not move. I no longer knew who I really was. Maybe I was the one who escaped. Or maybe the one who got out was not me.